to order the Historic Preservation Commission regular meeting of May 25th, 2023 at 4 o'clock. The purpose of the commission is to decide applications for certificates of appropriateness for new construction or major work within the Pinehurst Historic District, and to do so by conducting hearings and making findings of fact. When such applications come before us, by law, the commission is directed to take no action except to prevent construction or alterations that would be incongruous with the special character of the historic district. I'm Richard Vincent, Vice Chair, and I'll be acting as Chair of the Commission for this meeting, as our Honorable Chair, Mr. John Taylor, is absent. I ask each Commissioner, starting from my left, to state his or her name for the record.
Roxanne Vaitkus.
Richard Vincent.
Ara Mathis.
Carl Ecker.
Appointed member David Herring is absent, so we have 4 members here today. So we have to have a quorum in order to proceed. Maria Carpenter from the village of Pinehurst, our favorite staff, is here. She's present as well. First order of business is to approve the minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
It's a
Second.
motion from Mr. Ecker and a second from Karen Mathis. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. For you, Maria, that's 4 ayes. Okay. Next on the agenda is we need to approve the work session minutes, and that was from the 27th of April last month. Do we have a motion? Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Would like to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion made by Carl Ecker.
Seconded.
Vatkis. A second from Mrs. Vatkis. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, today's meeting is a quasi-judicial hearing. That means that anyone desiring to testify must be sworn in, and the commission is required to consider only facts presented in this meeting. The proceedings are being video recorded. I asked the commissioners if they have visited any of the sites on the docket today, and whether they've had any ex parte communications with respect to any of the cases we'll be considering today. I'll start with my left.
I visited all the sites on the docket today, and I have had no ex parte communications.
Richard Vincent visited all the sites, no ex parte communication.
Kara Mathis visited all sites, no ex parte communication.
Carl Ecker visited all the sites and no ex parte communication.
Now is the time we enter into the public meeting. I'll ask for a motion to be made to enter into the public meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Carl,
Second.
second by Ms. Mathis. Okay, approved 4-0. I have to say all in favor, say aye, right? So we got a motion, we got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's 4 approved. Okay, staff will now present a summary of the application. Sorry, give me 1 second. I think I need to swear in staff. Give me 1 second. I think I can, Maria, do I have to get you in now, or can I move to swear you in first? Rules and procedures first? Okay. So just to walk you through and give some clarity, staff will first present a summary of the application, the staff's evaluation of the extent to which the application complies with the commission standards for such an application or raises issues that require further information, the staff's comments on the application, and where appropriate, the staff's recommendations for the commission. Commissioners will have an opportunity to question the staff about this report and the testimony. Next, the applicant or the applicant's representatives will have an opportunity to provide any additional information supporting the application and to address any questions or issues identified in the staff's testimony. Commissioners will also have an opportunity to question the applicant's witnesses after the applicant's presentation. If any member of the public wishes to present any evidence, either in support or in opposition to the application, please come forward at that time and identify yourselves. I will swear you in and give you an opportunity to present any reasons why you believe that the application should be granted or denied. Please remember, the commission is interested in only the facts and the facts that will help us decide whether the proposed work would be congruous with a special character of the Pinehurst Historic District. As chair, I have the right to exclude testimony that isn't relevant to that subject, but I'm not required to do so. Commissioners will have an opportunity to question you about your testimony. If the applicant or staff wishes to respond to that testimony, we'll permit them to do so. With this, I will now swear in staff. If you would stand, please raise your right hand and state your name for the record.
Maria Carpenter?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you shall give to the commission with respect to all the cases on our docket today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. We will now proceed with our first case. And this is application COA 2023-00104, commonly referred to as 275 Midland Road. And this is a continuation from the 27th of April meeting that we had. The purpose of this public hearing is to consider a request for a major certificate of appropriateness within the Pinehurst Historic District for the construction of a detached four-car garage at 275 Midland Road. The property is identified as Moore County, PIN number 000-16289. The property owner and applicant is Richard Lawson.
All right, you did part of my work for me, so thank you.
Okay. Saved you some time.
Yes, thanks. All right, so as Richard stated, this is to construct a garage, and it was continued from last month, so I'm going to go through this kind of quickly and present the new evidence. Mr. Larson's going to do a garage addition, 60 by 24. It will be in the rear yard behind the existing garage. The facade will have shake siding in the timber bark color to match the brick on the existing structure. Roof will match the existing house and garage. The existing garage doors will be replaced to match the new garage doors on the addition, and they will be black. Again, it is new construction or additions not considered to be minor work, so it is considered major work. The hearing was noticed in accordance with the PDO and North Carolina General Statutes. And just as a refresher, here again is the front of the house with the existing garage, the rear of the existing garage over here, and it will be over here behind that in the side yard. So here are the new proposed elevations. This would be the front elevation with the 4 garage doors. You can see he'll now be adding a door and a window to the rear of the garage. There's another angle on that. The back of the garage will be shake to match the front. And he is adding some trim here, I believe, to kind of break up the facade. Again, here's the shake in the timber bark color. The garage doors will be black. And here's the site plan, so you can see how the existing garage is here. It will be built onto the rear of that. It'll have a garage, or a driveway, excuse me, that comes around, and we'll load into the side. Here are just some pictures of neighboring homes or ways that brick and the shake or a different siding would come together. The applicant has submitted an application and provided additional documentation in an attempt to satisfy the burden of proof The commission will need to determine if the proposed addition is congruous with the historic district and if it meets the historic district standards. And at this time, I would like to submit into the record the staff report with attachments and exhibits, this presentation, the application, and the applicant's materials and exhibits.
Fellow commissioners, any questions or discussion for staff?
I assume that there's going to be plantings on the back side of the garage that is on the driveway side as it goes around. Is that correct? I mean,
It is a requirement for any new development, although it's not under historic.
it is just not shown on the diagram, that's why I asked.
They'll be there.
So in between the backside of the garage and the driveway? That's what you're saying?
It'll break up that long expanse.
We ask the homeowner that?
With the building permit, he'll have to submit a landscape plan.
Thresholds that they would have to meet, working with a different phase with staff.
It just wasn't shown in.
Okay. I see the applicants here. Would you like to come up and add anything, and I can swear you in?
Swear me in, or do I?
Yep. Can you state your name for the record?
Larson?
Mind spelling your last name?
Larson?
Perfect. And then I'll swear you in if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission today with respect to this application shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you.
Back to the garage picture.
Elevation?
Oh, you could stop there and I can go through the stuff I added if you want to go back one. Last time I was here, you guys asked where the driveway would be. I believe you would ask. So that's what I went back and did. So the blue would be the gravel, stone, not gravel, but stone driveway. And yes, there would be bushes along the side. There's bushes there now. And we will not, right along the property line, there's bushes you can go see. There's bushes everywhere. So that is already landscaped. If you can go to the next one. This one, you'd mentioned last time I was here, you wanted a break in the wall. If you look at it's the same color, but if you notice, there are vertical trim panels on the back side of the garage. Those are the same color. If I do them a different color, they look like racing stripes and look ridiculous. So the best way, or the most tactful way of doing it with breaking it up, is to use vertical trim pieces even though it's shake. So you'll notice that there's 3 of those in the center, and then there's trim pieces on each end. On the end of the garage, which is different than last time, I'm basically taking the window, the door, and the vent that's on the existing garage, removing it and putting it at the end of this garage. So it'll have not only will it look the same, it'll be exactly the same. And then I don't think there's anything else to add to that, but you'd mentioned you wanted something to break up the wall. There you go. I think that's it for that one. And then the next picture, there was another one that had keep going, maybe it's the other way. There was a question, what transitioning from brick to trim looks like. There's 2 examples in the village of that happening. So that's brick transitioning to, one is of course horizontal, one's shake. And that was asked of me last time, so that's what it would look like.
Thank you for that. Any questions from commissioners of the applicant?
First of all, I'm very glad that you are proposing preserving the original door and window. And I assume the louver at the top too. I just want to clarify for me and Carl. So when you say that you're going to have bushes or plants, is it up against the wall or is it, so it would be wall, driveway, and then the plants? Because I think that's different than what we're talking about. We're talking about breaking up the wall even further. So you have the vertical paneling or the vertical trim, and we're talking about putting a few like thin something, trees or some kind of landscaping in.
Again, if that's, when I get to the next level, and if that's something that's a requirement, then I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
Yep.
But that is the driveway. You got plants and plants, and I got to still drive a car through there.
Other questions for the applicant? Okay, I won't speak for Mr. Herring, who's not here, but he'd be very impressed, and this is very attractive. We appreciate what you've done here. So if there's no more discussion for the applicant, if there's anyone here in the audience who would like to speak on this application, present any evidence either in support or in opposition to the application, seeing none, and what we'll do is we will close the evidentiary portion of the public hearing. Deliberation for any commissioners. And if none, if there's any commissioner that would like to propose a motion.
And I assume that this follows all easement ordinances. Oh, no. It's like suitable space to the right. Did we decide that in the last?
It's not in front of us for consideration.
Okay, we don't have to worry about that?
Nope.
Nice.
That's all stuff that staff reviews before we bring
Okay,
these things
perfect.
to you. Pros?
If there's no other questions, is there someone who would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Roxanne?
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness, COA 2023-00104, and find the proposed major work at 275 Midland Road is consistent with Historic District standards and congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the materials submitted, and the findings of fact.
Is there a second? Second? Roxanne, how do I pronounce your last name?
Vaitkus.
There we go, I don't butcher it the whole night. A motion made by Ms. Vakis and seconded by Mr. Ecker. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0. Congratulations.
All right, thank you
Thank you.
for now. Okay.
Shall I
Like
just
me to
jump in?
continue doing some of your work, or do you want to jump in
I
here
think
and
I got
save
it.
me? Okay. Okay, second case.
All right. So the purpose of this public hearing is to consider a request for a major certificate of appropriateness within the Pinehurst Historic District for modifications to previously approved COA 2022-00063 at 70 Carolina Vista. The property is identified as Moore County Parcel ID number 000-16488. The property owners and applicants are Kirk and Victoria Atkins. So the applicant will be changing the style of a few windows and the garage door. A window will be added to the pool house, 2 windows will be added to the, 2 windows on the existing house will be eliminated, and there will also be a generator added behind the pool house. So just some minor changes. It is considered major work because there is eliminating and adding windows and or doors. The public hearing was noticed in accordance with the PDO and North Carolina general statutes. So I'm going to go through this quickly because I know Mr. Atkins also has a PowerPoint to go with you in more detail. But if you can look at the previously approved elevations and then the proposed elevations, you can see there's a slight change in the size of a window here. As we move over, we got the style of this window will be changed. The style of the doors here on the patio will be changed. On this elevation, there's a slight modification down here. The garage doors that were previously approved will be more of a normal garage door, but they will be in the same color. Style change on the windows, style change on the doors. We have an additional window up here. Over here, we had 2 pillars, and those will be eliminated, or 2 columns. What else we got? I think that was all on this one. Oh, and they will be adding a generator. You can't really see here, but I guess that's a good thing because this is where the 2 windows will be eliminated, so nothing will be noticed there. And those were actually on the original plans for the COA that was approved before. I think he was just worried that since it wasn't talked about, it wasn't approved, but they were approved on the previous COA. Here you can just see the site plan of where the generator will be placed. The rest of this was also previously approved. So the applicant has submitted an application and provided additional documentation in an attempt to satisfy the burden of proof. The commission will need to determine if the changes are congruous with the historic district and if they meet the historic district standards. And I would like to submit into the record the staff report with attachments and exhibits, this presentation, the application, and the applicant's materials and exhibits.
Thank you, Maria. Any questions for staff? One question. So, generator, columns, things like that, if it wasn't for the swapping out of windows and the style, this would be minor work and handled at staff level, is that correct?
Yeah, except for the windows that they're eliminating and adding,
Yeah.
everything would be minor. It could
Okay.
all be staff approved.
Okay. So the 2 windows that were originally approved in the first COA have already been approved?
Yes.
Okay. Got
Yes, so really it's that one window. I don't know that there was another one.
Looked like there were maybe 2 above the door.
Okay. There were a lot of little windows, so
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure he'll have them all marked off in his PowerPoint.
No other questions for staff? So seeing as though the applicant has a presentation, we should probably bring him up here to share it with us. If you would state your name, are both of you going to be speaking?
The general contractor.
You plan on speaking? I guess I got you speaking already. So we'll go and swear you both in. Say your first name, your last name, if you can spell your last name, and then I'll swear you in, and you can be seated.
Kirk Adkins, Adkins.
James Thomas, Thomas.
Perfect. If you'll raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to this application shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please have a seat. Hey, what would you like to add to what staff has shared with us?
Okay, I'll be very brief. But first, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Chairman, and your fellow HPC board members for your community service. I know how time-consuming this is, and your commitment is greatly appreciated. I'd also like to thank Ms. Maria Carpenter. Ms. Carpenter has been extremely accessible and has provided me with much appreciated professional direction. The HPC approved our initial COA application in March of 2022. One of the key requirements during the hearing was about the number of trees to be removed. I'm very pleased to confirm that the tree removal plan has been strictly adhered to. And as with most projects, once one gets going into the execution, things change. I'm here tonight to request your approval of 5 little changes, only one of which requires a major COA application, and to describe to you 2 items that were included in the initial COA application, but which were not specifically discussed. I am bringing these 2 other items up just to be 100% certain of your awareness and to confirm your approval. So let's talk about these items. But before I begin, let me explain how I've organized the presentation to you. I'm going to be showing you at the top of the slide the original elevation or drawing that was presented during the initial HPC hearing in March of 2022. And then on the bottom of the page is the revised elevation or drawing. I'm then circling the area that's being modified from the original drawing. And then finally, I'm circling the area on the new drawing of the proposed modification and then highlighting that change with an arrow. So the first item is the main entrance grid has been changed. So that's the main entrance to the home. And then you'll see below that we've taken out the 15 panel window. So the grid's been changed. Second item is the golf cart garage originally had 2 pillars, but there was an issue with actually putting those in, and we felt that just putting braces was a better thing to do, so there aren't any pillars in that. The third item is the window in the toilet closet. That's the toilet closet there. We're actually putting a urinal in. Yay for the men in the audience. And that urinal is right up against that wall, and we need to make the window a little bit smaller. The fourth item, and one of the things that did require, according to Ms. Carpenter, was we decided to vault the ceiling in the pool house. And initially, because we were not vaulting it, we did not have a window there. And we've chosen to vault it. And then we put in these 2 architectural windows, which are present all across the entire home. So we think it supports the architectural integrity of the home. And that particular window is 13 feet from the ground level. So there's no possibility that we could look into our neighbor's yard or into their home in any way. The next item are these windows in the kitchen. This is what Ms. Carpenter said before, that we presented the floor plan at the original hearing, and we just never discussed it, and I felt that that was inappropriate to not bring it back up when I'm coming back up here. And you can see that's where the 2 windows will be going. And if, as you're coming down Ritter Road, it would be impossible to see that they're gone. The next item, the pool house, initially, and this is my fault because I didn't see it, there was never an intention to have 1/1 grid. It was always going to be this 2/2. Going back to this golf cart garage, it is the same color as our external doors that we have on the home, which is an approved historical preservation district color called antique bronze. And that new garage door, which does not have windows in it, will be antique bronze. Then Ms. Carpenter talked about this generator that will be located behind the pool house and will be obscured from, no way can you see it from the street, and will be obscured from our neighbor there's a ton of plantings along the boundary line there, so it won't be an eyesore for our neighbors. And then finally, during the 2022 HPC hearing, we showed a site plan for the project. We showed this, but we didn't really discuss it. And it shows that there's a circular driveway where today there's only the existing driveway entrance that's on Ritter Road. And I just want to be 100% sure that you all are aware that we're proposing to do this circular driveway. And that's really all that I have to present at this time, and I thank you for your consideration.
Any questions from the
Push that
commissioners of the
last slide.
applicant?
Circular driveway seems to be interrupted by something. Plantings?
That is brick pavers in front of the new garage.
Right, now I understand.
So it's just in front of the garage. We were concerned that there's be a lot of turning and stuff, and so we wanted to put brick pavers there.
Other questions for the applicant? Any discussion? Okay. Is there any member from the public that would like to either speak in support or opposition of the application? Hearing none, we will go ahead and close the evidentiary portion of the public hearing. Now, opportunity for the commissioners to deliberate and discuss the application. And if there's no discussion, I will see if there is a commissioner that would like to make a motion.
I can make a motion. I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness, COA 2023-00165, and find the proposed major work at 70 Carolina Vista is consistent with historic district standards and is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the materials submitted, and the findings of fact.
Motion made by Mrs. Mathis
Second,
and a second by Carl Ecker. All commissioners in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
COA. Thank you. We'll now move on to our third and final application for the evening. Take it away when ready, Maria.
All right. The purpose of this public hearing is to consider a request for a major certificate of appropriateness within the Pinehurst Historic District for the addition of a garage, replacing windows and doors, and enclosing a courtyard at 40 Campbell Road. The property is identified as Moore County Parcel ID number 000-28144. The property owners are William and Patricia Ebbs, and the applicant is Pinehurst Homes, Inc. The applicant proposes to construct a garage addition to match the existing structure siding and exterior details with weathered wood shingles to match the existing roof. The whole house in addition will be repainted with colors from the approved color palette. The windows will be replaced with white vinyl windows, and the doors will be replaced with fiberglass insulated doors and painted black. The existing single entry front door will be replaced with a double entry door, and a door to the rear deck will be relocated slightly. There is currently a courtyard open in the interior of the house, which will be enclosed for a laundry room and pantry. The roof will match the existing pitch and shingles, and a skylight will be added to the roof. So this is new construction or additions not considered to be minor work, and eliminating or adding windows and or doors, which makes it major work. The public hearing was noticed in accordance with the PDO and North Carolina general statutes. And here you can see a site plan. It's not very big, sorry. Here's where the garage addition will be. And this little area here is where there's actually an open courtyard at the moment. and they'll be putting a roof over that to enclose it. Some elevations where you'll have the new garage is over here. I believe they're adding a window here. More elevations. So here is the garage addition. They will be adding a door here, adding a door here. What else we got? I believe they are adding these doors and a window. This is the rear elevation. And then there's an entry door here. I believe they're just moving this slightly. Skylight will be right here. And again, this is the garage, the front of the garage. Oh, let me go back and just point out that here's the roof line that will be added when they enclose that interior courtyard. Some pictures of the existing house. Here we have the front, the side, the existing garage, and the rear of the house. All right. And the applicant has submitted an application and provided additional documentation in an attempt to satisfy the burden of proof. The commission would need to determine if the addition and changes are congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District and whether they meet the Historic District standards. And at this time, I would like to submit into the record the staff report with attachments and exhibits, this presentation, and the application and applicant's materials and exhibits.
Thank you, Maria. Any questions from commissioners for staff? Seeing none, I assume the applicant's here. Would you like to come up? Introduce yourselves, we'll swear you in.
Haddock, Haddock.
Thank you. Would you mind raising your right hand? We'll swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to your application shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please have a seat. I saw a couple of head shaking, not in a negative way, just maybe to correct something that was pointed out by staff. Is there anything you want to add to what staff has already presented?
Yeah, there was one door that was noted to be a new door. I believe it's existing. It's existing.
Yeah, so she did a great job. Everybody needs to understand that this house was built in 1979, and the windows,
I'm going to have you just speak up a little, just so we can catch you.
so
on
the
record.
windows and
Thank
the
you.
doors the windows are all broken. They're the rollout type, and all the mechanisms are gone, so they've got to be replaced. And Brandon's architect has done a really good job working with us to decide what to do. All the windows in the current Carolina room, which you can see in the top photograph, the windows that are all together, they're all broken. We can't roll those windows out anymore. So that had to be done. It's really not a big deal, but there was this house as a Camino house built in 79, and they built it with an open courtyard. And you can access the courtyard from either the master bedroom or the kitchen. And frankly, it's useless, wasted space. So we're going to put the laundry room there, which is on the other side of the house, and a pantry, which currently there is no pantry in that 1979 kitchen.
And the roof line that was indicated to change due to the courtyard, the roof line that was indicated to change due to the enclosure of the courtyard doesn't really change. It's hard to tell on the 2D elevation, not a 3D drawing.
can't see it from
There's
the
a-
street.
There's a peak behind it, and it's below that peak. So it's really no change from a 2D elevation standpoint.
The minor changes to the front elevation, where the high windows are there on as you're looking at it on the left-hand side. That used to be the laundry room and had a vertical window. Now it's going to have a high window because it's going to be a bathroom. Made sense.
Okay.
Otherwise, all the materials, siding, roofing, color, everything will be to match existing or come from the approved color palette.
I won't speak for anyone else, but it looks like a seamless tie-in from my naked eye. Any questions?
And if I may,
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you guys actually went out there and looked at it, because right behind that garage addition is a ginormous live oak, one of the reasons we bought the house. And it's going to frame that live oak much better than it
Yeah.
currently.
It's a part of the village that a lot of people don't access. And I'm on Short Road. We like to walk down here and take the golf cart, and these are big lots. They're all big lots, and
Big.
I've always wondered who lives back here, so nice to meet you. Any questions for the applicants from any of the commissioners?
I just have a few. They're just need some clarification. One has to do with the paint color. I'm really familiar with Revere Pewter, and it's a fabulous color. You're painting the body of the house Revere Pewter, which is dark, and I think our standards suggest light. Although it seems to be lately that the style is a dark-bodied house with white trim, which I personally like. And this house is already painted or stained in a dark color.
And
But
I think the standards say should.
should, okay. So, but I think we just need to bring that up. My other question had to do with, there's a brick facade in the front as part. Is that going to also be painted?
So, great question. We don't know yet, right? So that brick facade just covers the cinder block foundation, right? It's low. So the garage will also have that to match the existing house. If Brandon can get bricks that match very well, we will not paint it. And if not, we will come back to you and ask your permission to paint it.
Okay, I was curious about that. And then my other question had to do with the elevation drawings. I noticed that the windows are shown as having no mullions, yet the window plan shows mullioned windows in there. So I was curious. I think in the plans, what?
Where does the window plan show mullions? I'm sorry. Just on the front door is what we have there.
Oh, maybe I misread. Hang on, let me read your window schedule. You have mold casements on the bedrooms, W2, W3, a mold awning window. I'm assuming mold means mullioned. I could be wrong. I'm on the window schedule.
Give me just a moment. I'll
That's
answer your
fine.
question.
It's the bedrooms.
I believe that's going to be referring to two windows that are molded together into one unit,
Ah, okay. Not mullioned.
but I will verify.
It's
that.
not a problem, I was just curious, so.
The two windows that are together just to the right of the main entrance,
Yes,
that's the master bedroom.
yes. That's your mold, okay, and then,
And then the other one would be on the northwest facing side, which,
yeah, and the awning window is mold also.
That is correct. It is two units that are.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Thank you for clarifying that. I think that's all I had.
Any other questions? Okay, well, seeing there's no additional questions or discussion from the commissioners, I'll ask if there's anyone in the audience who either wants to speak in support or in opposition to the application. Seeing and hearing none. We will then move to close the evidentiary portion of this hearing. Time for commissioner deliberation, if there is any. And if not,
I'll move. I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness, COA 2030017, and find the proposed major work at 40 Campbell Road is consistent with the historic district standards and is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the materials submitted, and the findings of fact.
Motion made by Mr. Ecker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Vikas. I'm going to get it right.
Close enough.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Why don't I poll the members?
Aye.
Richard, aye.
Kara, I.
Earl, aye.
Carl, aye. 4-0, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing as though we have handled our primary business of the evening, it's time to close the public meeting. So I would ask for a motion from the commissioners to close the public meeting.
So moved.
Motion made by Carl,
Second.
seconded by Kara Mathis. All in favor?
I.
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing adjourned. Okay. Okay, now we will review the review of normal maintenance and minor work items. These were minor work COAs issued. Maria, is this you? Am I reading your part here?
It's just there. You guys can take a glance. You had it in your packets as well, so that's all. We don't, unless somebody has something they want to discuss with them. Otherwise, we can go on to item 5.
I just have a question for my own personal education. The last one on here where there's a relocation of windows and door, now this is minor work, but I always thought moving a window or door is major work. But there must be a reason it's minor work. I'm curious what it is.
There was, while they were building it, some issues that they had to relocate, and actually the door is where it was originally, so they're not,
Okay.
nothing's actually moving,
Oh, okay, well, then that makes sense.
so.
I've noticed the house, what started with walls became a slab. And I think that planned to keep a lot of the house, and it
Yes.
did not go that way. So I'm sure once you start pulling down, and you have framing, and you find rotten, bad pieces, and it looks like they plan to salvage something, but very little of it's salvaged. So,
Yeah.
And so that doesn't come before us.
No, when they're really minor like that, and they're in the midst of building, for her to wait another month when it was a door that was already where it was, she just really wasn't moving it. So they put a window, she was going to have a window there, and the door was going to be where the window is now, so.
okay. Our next meeting will be June 22nd. That'll be the next regular meeting. And if there's no other business, I'll ask for somebody to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Ecker and seconded by Ms. Kara Mathis. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's 4-0. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Good job.